Well, once again, I would like to thank Mark Donfried and also the ICD. This is not my first time here at ICD. As a matter of fact, I have seen along the years how you have come up with a new concept at the ICD, Mark. I wanted to personally congratulate you. I've seen you when you were born and throughout all the years, 15 years. Not him, I'm talking about the ICD. But anyways, but it's been very interesting, and it's a very interesting ride to see where the ICD is today. Last time I was here was 2 years ago. No, actually a year and a half ago, when I gave a presentation about the association agreement between Europe and Central America. And today I'm here, and I would like to especially, again, thankfully to Mark Donfried, I would like to express my appreciation for the invitation of my Vice Minister for Tourism, who I would like to introduce right now. An applause, please.
Good afternoon. And first of all, greetings from Honduras. And I would like to thank you for having us here to share a little bit with you what Honduras is doing in terms of sustainability in the tourism development. I'd like to show you first where Honduras is located. We're in Middle America, Central America. You can see us there in the green area. We are, I would say, 2 hours from the US coastline, to give you an idea where we're located, in between North and South America. My presentation is in Spanish, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the audience is mostly English speaking, so I'll be translating as I go along. So first of all, Honduras is a country that has 112,090 square kilometers. In our territory, we have many different protected areas. We have 91 protected areas that covers 27,000 square kilometers, which is 35.77% of our territory. So we do believe in protecting our natural resources. We have a very large coastline with 700 kilometers of beaches. You can see an example of the beaches there. We have approximately 8,000 different species of plants and about 229 different type of animals and 211 reptiles and different other species, including birds and fishes. Honduras is also part of the Mesoamerican reef system. So we have the second largest barrier reef in the world, where you can experience scuba diving. 30% of our territory is also rainforest areas, and it mentions different areas of the country that are located into that area as the Rio Plátano Reserve, which has also been recognized since 1985 by UNESCO as a World Heritage. And it also states about the reef, I mentioned that before. And the tropical forest is 40% of our territory, and 70 ecosystem and vegetations. And we also have 9 sites that have been declared the Ramsar sites. And you can see in our pictures, those are images of our country and all the different areas and species. We started working on sustainability in terms of tourism development since 2004. We started first by creating a national strategy for ecotourism development in 2004, and in 2005 realized that we had much more to offer, so we created a national strategy for tourism development, sustainable tourism development, which gives us a view of where we were in 2005 and where we want to be in 2021. And this is our guidelines to continue developing tourism in our country. We also did, in that same area, an evaluation of what our environmental strategy for the travel sector was. In 2010, we declared the Bay Islands, which it sits atop the second largest barrier reef in the world, a national park. We also created in 2010 a strategy for climate change. Our country is one of the most vulnerable in the world to climate change. In 2013, we also complemented by creating a policy that would give us the opportunity to develop tourism products and services around the protected areas and our national parks, so that the people that live around those areas, the communities, can participate economically in the tourism business, but it's done under rules and regulation so that it remains sustainable. We also have general rules for the development of the Bay Islands since 2004, which dictates, many regulations of buildings and coastline distances, all in an attempt to protect the barrier reef. In 2012, we also created the framework for the bird watching and also the whale shark. Every year, for several months, the whale sharks pass across the Bay Islands, so you have an opportunity to be able to scuba dive with them or swim with them, but in order to protect them, so we created regulations and how you approach into this activity. Again, in an attempt to protect our reef, we also created in 2012 regulations in how you're supposed to conduct scuba diving on a reef in an attempt to protect them. In 2013, the Bay Islands were declared a national park. And in 2014, you have the ordinance for land use. And also in 2011, our government declared all the oceans of Honduras a sanctuary for sharks. It is a problem we know all over the world where sharks are being fished for their fins, and they have a very important role in the ecosystem in the ocean. So our government decided to protect them. We also created good practices for the hotel sector and tourism, which they're not obligated to, but we encourage them to adhere to these good practices in terms of managing our environment. We have also the guide for practices in the construction and infrastructure in the development in the coastal zones in the tourism sector. That's all the framework that I explained. Now, some of the things that we are doing to put all of this framework into action. So in 2012, one of the things that we did again was conduct a study to see what the condition were of our environment in the Bay Islands. And we started working with the hotels to sign commitments with the government in working together so that they would produce clean energy, control the water use, so the water management is also in accordance with the environment. And then in 2012, we created a platform in conjunction with National Geographic, where all of these businesses that make the decision to adhere to these rules and regulation or best practices would have a platform where they can commercialize or market their different tourism services. In 2013, we started a program where we're now addressing different issues in the destination of the Bay Islands, where we did a rapid destination diagnostic that would teach us where we're at the moment and how we move forward from there. And I'll explain a little bit more about that a little further on. Climate change, I mentioned before that our country is very vulnerable to climate change. So we propose, in Central America, we have SICA, which is sort of the same system in a smaller scale as the European Union, where all of our countries are together and work together on different issues, tourism, climate change, agriculture, etc. So we had, together with SICA, we created a forum for climate change and sustainability in Central America. And as a result of that forum, the decision was made to create an observatory of tourism, sustainability, and climate change, which this year in March, we're signing the agreement with the Organization for Tourism Worldwide, which is one of our strategic partners in this venture. We're also working on implementing the destination management organizations in our travel or tourism destinations, and I'll talk about that a little bit further on as well. And plans of action for those DMOs, which are the Destination Management Organization. Central America, again, in the instance of SICA, all the countries work together in creating SICS, which is Central America Integrated Quality and Sustainability. It's a sello de calidad, a quality assurance. So this is also being implemented. Honduras is one of the first countries to start its implementation. And in 2014, President Hernandez declared tourism a national priority because tourism is the fourth income generator for our country and contributes 5.9% to the economy. And then I'll go into a case study, which is the Bay Islands. And Bay Islands people have a vision for tourism. And the Bay Islands is the main tourist destination of Honduras. And the vision is that tourism is developed in a manner where it really benefits its communities. So this is what we're working on. And it's a process. It's not 1 year or 2 year, it's a continual process, such as tourism trends changes, so we have to adjust to those changes, as well as climate change in different areas, so it's a continuous and ongoing work. So just to give you a perspective, I showed you earlier where Honduras was located. So you see the little 3 islands, those are the Bay Islands. You have Utilarotan, Guanaja, and the Cayos Cochinos. They're about 30 or 40 miles away from the north coast of Honduras, and it's the Caribbean Sea. I was mentioning before the importance of tourism for Honduras. Honduras is a country with about 8 million in population, and we received in 2013 1.857 million tourists. And this is a combination of tourists that come and stay for long periods of time. And we also receive quite a bit of cruise ship tourism. It's one of the leading, in Central America, it's the leading country in the cruise industry. And it generated $618.3 million for tourism and represent 5.8 of the income of the country. And just to put it into context of what the Bay Island represent within those figures, we receive 55% of the total visitation that come into Honduras and generates 215 millions, which represent 45%. And 1.9% of the income, the general income that comes into our country for tourism. And this is the process that we are taking in our destinations. The objectives are to conduct a diagnostic or an evaluation of the destination and to create an action agenda. And you identify quick win projects that we can execute in a short period of time, but also it goes with a long-term action plan. And this is basically the process of how it's done. You first do your investigation, and this is done I'll go back. This is done in conjunction with the Mesoamerican Reef Tourism Initiative, the Institute of Tourism, the Sustainable Travel Destination, and the Local Geotourism Council, which is the council that manage the website in conjunction with National Geographic. And then we mapped out all of the actors because we wanted to make sure that it was an inclusive process and we would have everyone working together towards one common goal. I'm from a tourist destination, and once you start developing in tourism, it changes people's lives, and it could be positive or negative. It will depend on how you manage your development. So there's first they do some desk work, and then you actually go to the site and you do your evaluation to complete, where you have your different workshops with all of the local actors, and you start your agenda based on the diagnostics. And it is a snapshot that will show you in the different areas that we work on, which is how you manage your destination, how involved are your communities in the development, and how they benefit economically. It also focuses on how we bring our culture, how we manage our culture and our heritage or natural resources into the tourism development, and how we manage our environment. And this is based on 84 indicators from the Sustainable Council, the Global Sustainable Council, and it's 23 sub-subjects. And that is basically our presentation, and we hope that in some way this has given you an insight in what we are doing in Honduras, using tourism as a motor for development to make lives better for our communities and our population. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias as well. I'd like to open the floor to some questions. Yes.
I'm from Honduras, so I'll make it an easy question. Can you share with the rest of us a little more of the details of what it's like to go swimming with the whale sharks in Roatan?
It's an experience. This animal is so huge that you feel, I mean, a human next to him is so tiny. It's really overwhelming, and it's a beautiful experience, and they're very gentle. So if you sometime have chance to come to our country, I would definitely recommend that you do that activity.
Further questions?
Hello, my name is Eva. My question is that do you promote tourism for the locals as well? Is it accessible for the locals from different islands?
Yes, and our tourism in national tourism is concentrated mostly during Easter week, is when you have a huge movement of Honduras going from one side of the country to the next. And we have the Caribbean side of the country, and we also have the Pacific side. So those are the areas that are visited quite a bit for going to sun and fun. And then you have all of the different, on the west side of the country, which is all of the procession, the Catholic processions, the rugs that they create on the floor. So there's a huge movement. One of the things that we've also done to promote internal tourism is in October, we have like 3 different holidays. They're just different days for different national holidays. So we were able last year to have Congress combine those holidays into a long weekend. So now you have a second window in the year where you can travel as well. So, and this stimulates internal tourism.
So, Ms. Solomon, Your Excellency, thank you again for giving us a wonderful glimpse into the beautiful country that is Honduras. It's been really informative and lovely to see. Thank you.
Thank you very much.